Welcome to Theme Park Jeopardy, where your theme park knowledge won't get you laid, but it will get you paid. I'm your host, Alex Trackbeck. Let's meet our three socially awkward contestants. Our first contestant hails all the way from Sandusky, Ohio. Please welcome the troll, the legend, Tony motherfucking Clark.
Hey guys, it's me, Tony fucking Clark. Hey Alex, you want this extra fast pass for Steel Vengeance?
Oh, hell yeah.
Ha! Fuck you. No facts allowed.
Okay. Well, our next contestant hails all the way from Salt Lake City, Utah. He's the cutest little enthusiast you ever did see. It's YouTube's Tyler Bybee.
Hi, I'm Tyler Bybee. I'm the cutest out of all of you here, and I just want to say that my perfect hair is only this perfect to glorify God.
Praise be. Next up on our roller coaster contest is the most infamous of them all. The biggest, the loudest, the banhammer himself, Rob Alvey.
Hi guys, it's Rob Alvey from Theme Park Review. You may have heard of it. You know, Alex, a lot of people think I'm a real asshole, but I'm really the nicest guy.
Whatever you say, Rob.
Are you making fun of me? Oh my god, you'd better watch your step or you're going to be fucking banned!
Whoa, okay, buddy. Why don't we take a look at some of this week's categories? And the categories are Dream It or RMC It, Six Flags or Six Fags, B&M to BDSM, GCI for the straight guy, The Intimate Intamin, and Cedar Fair Don't Care. Rob, you have the highest walk of shame count, so out of pity, we'll start with you.
Whee! I'll take Rob Alvey as awesome for 1 million, Alex.
I'll just assume that means Cedar Fair Don't Care for 200. And the question is, built in 1989, this popular ride has been sinking ever since it was built next to Lake Erie. Tyler.
Ew, 1989? Did you all have roller coasters back then?
Loop-de-loop! What are you, 5? Banned! You're banned!
Sit down, Rob. Your face is scaring the child. Obviously, Alex, what is Magnum XL 200?
Correct. Tony Clark, you have control of the board.
Oh, really, Alex? Do I? What a surprise. I'll take the Intimate Intamin for 1,000.
This world's first was built in 2009 at this popular Swedish theme park.
Whee! What is Theme Park Review is the best, Alex?
No.
Banned!
What's the Swedish?
Oh, God.
And I thought my cedar fuckboy the legend was stupid. The correct answer is, what is Furious Bacon at Pork Aventura in Stockholm, Swedish, Alex?
No, but that answer did make me hungry. The correct answer is Insane at Gronalund in Stockholm, Sweden, which is a country, Tyler. A country. Shit. Who has control of the board? Fuck it, Tyler, you pick one.
Oh, yay! I'll take Dream.
It's Dream It.
Dream It?
Dream It or RMC It. Oh my fucking God.
Yeah, that one. For this many, Alex.
He held up 6 fingers, so, well, let's go with 600. And god damn it, that's today's daily double. Shit. So this question is now worth $1,200 or the cost of a Disney annual pass.
Whee! Loop-de-loop!
Okay, this podcast parodied Steel Vengeance in a popular meme after it was involved in a minor accident on opening day. Most notably, a poorly photoshopped photo of a tiny train ramming into Rob Alvey's smiling face.
Ah!
Oh, shit.
Oh my god! Don't you fucking dare, Alex! Banned! I have a family! Banned! Blocked! Reported! Screen capped and sent to the mods!
Don't you assholes screen these fucking questions?
I need all of my minions to call the local police. Call your senator. Call your mom. It's harassment. Harassment, I say.
What is the Ride This One podcast, Alex? But that show is bad. My mommy says I'm not allowed to listen to that show.
And don't you ever do it, Tyler, or you'll be banned. I'll ban you for life, Tyler. Banned!
Okay, and with that, I think it's time for Final Jeopardy. Could someone get a towel? The dude's foaming at the mouth. In Final Jeopardy, each contestant will be given a question, and they will have to write down their answers on the boards in front of them. They will also wager whatever amount they want in attempt to double their money. Today's Final Jeopardy question is, B&M is an acronym for what popular coaster manufacturer? All right, let's start with Tony Clark. Let's see your answer. He wrote, "What is Big Money Baby?" I'm sorry, Tony, but that is not the correct answer. We were looking for Bollinger and Mabillard. Let's see what you wagered. And you wagered everything. Well, normally it's safe to bet on B&M, but in this case, it did not pay off for you.
Whatever, bitch. I'm like a fucking millionaire. Peace out.
Okay, and he's just... well, he's leaving. Tyler, you put up a drawing of... Is that a cat? You wagered a picture of... I don't even know what that is.
Well, that's a drawing of me and my mom's friend Gary, who's not my dad.
Okay, and I think I'm gonna regret this, but Rob, let's see what you put. It looked like you put... ban and motherfucking hammer and my home address? Can we please blur that? Jesus Christ, how did you even get that?
Banned! You're banned, Alex!
Okay, well, that's all the time we have for today on Theme Park Jeopardy.
And always remember to spay and neuter your pet.
God damn it, Arrow, fucking wrong show. I'm out, motherfuckers.
Banned! 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 All you motherfuckers are banned! I'm important! I'm important!
Ride This One Podcast. If you want family friendly, go listen to Coaster Fucking Radio.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Welcome to episode 32 of Ride This One Podcast. Yes, we've made it to 32, but it's not just Slater and I. As much of a throwback as that would be, we've got 5 people on the Skype call today. 5. Yes, 5.
5. And they're all sea cows wearing ice skates.
Of course they are. Of course they are. And don't worry. We made sure everyone had the Sea Cow beer as well, staying true to the Sea Cow themes. But Slater, who do we have quiet? I mean, everybody's quiet. Why are we so quiet?
Everyone's quiet. Well, we have the general run of the mill. We have, of course, near and dear to our heart, Intern Chris.
Hello, howdy, or as people say across the pond, good day.
Yes.
Yes, and of course we Gare Bear couldn't be here today because
so we need more.
Oh hey, I'm Gare Bear and I'm a fucking faggot. I'd rather spend time with my mother on Mother's Day because I'm a good little bitch. But don't worry, I did get a faggot to replace him today. We got Ryan Delaney up in this bitch.
Hello, hello, hello.
Wow, that's really loud, Ryan.
You sound like Thanos.
Uh-oh.
I'm seeing that tonight. Don't anyone, no
You
one
haven't
better
seen
ruin
it yet?
No!
You have not seen it yet?
I have been
I
so
forgot you're
fucking
gay.
busy digging shit out of my mom's asshole, I have not had time to go see a movie.
Slater, there's something wrong with you.
I know. But you know what? We have one other person here, and I'm very, very, very excited to introduce him. However, before I do, I need to bring one thing up, and it's very important.
Okay.
Now, everyone knows we have a very, very dear friend of the show, personal friend even, Matt from Yorkshire.
He was just here in the States.
Yes, he was. When he caught wind that this person we're having on was coming on the show, he was hurt because he thought that he was the only Brit for us. So he has sent in a message. And we'll go ahead and play that now.
Ride This One podcast. I'm not angry, I'm disappointed. Yes, I have the utmost respect for your famed guest this week, Nicholas. However, I thought that I was the only Brit for you. I thought that I was your European correspondent. I thought I was special to you. Apparently not. Well, enjoy your flirting with other Brits. Hell, why don't you get some Germans on as well? See if I care. I love you really. Please come back.
So, you all must be wondering who the fuck we're having on? Prince Mike Collins, no. David Beckham, no.
Yes, we have from across the pond, we have Nick Hudson.
Howdy.
Howdy.
That's how we say hello.
Were you at Dollywood recently? Because that's what they teach people at Dollywood is how to say howdy.
I've never been to Dollywood, and it's a big shame. I've been to
yeah.
I've been to Gatlinburg and the other shithole, but I've never been to Dollywood, which is a shame.
Oh, that's
well,
a shame.
You know, it's okay. You're really not missing that much. I'm just saying.
I've been on the Jurassic Park boat ride. I've been on the Ripley's, believe it or not, and the Wonderworks and all that crap, but I've never been into the heart of Dolly Parton's Smoky Mountains. That sounds really wrong, doesn't it?
I shouldn't be getting an erection from that, but everything is sexier with a British accent.
No, that sounds completely right. That sounds completely right.
Of course, Goliath, of course that sounds right for you. But, you know, we want to make you comfortable. We want to make you feel like, you're at home.
Right.
So what we're going to do is for the rest of the episode, we're all going to talk in our worst British accents. That's not offensive at all, I know. We just want to make you comfortable, governor. So...
Does that mean I'm going to talk in my worst southern accent?
Rocky, mate.
Ancestry.com said I'm half British, so it's not racist or anything if
I love when British people talk in American accent and they call it an accent. You mean speaking regular?
I mean speak regular.
Oh, chap, that was quite humorous. I applaud your efforts.
Thank you very much.
Oh, shit. This show goes out to a bunch of fucking Americans. They have no idea who the fuck you are. You know what? Why don't you tell people who you are and what you do for a living?
I am a composer of theme park music and immersive attraction audio and scare attractions and all that kind of fun stuff. It's a dream job in a way. I love it.
Oh my god, did you do all the music for the Roller Coaster Tycoon games?
No, I don't. I was about 12 when they came out. Though the Planet Coaster music, I will say, is absolutely phenomenal. I had nothing to do with it. But it's the whole game is beautiful, but the music is very, very strong. Doesn't get enough credit. Mostly some stuff in the UK, mostly stuff abroad. A couple of Ghostbusters attractions, a couple of scare attractions. I did a lot of stuff for Alton Towers, Chessington, and other small attractions around the UK, but bits and pieces. Yeah.
So, have you had the chance to meet Merlin yet? Doing all this work for Merlin Entertainment?
What, the actual wizard?
Yes, have you met him yet?
Well, of course.
No, I haven't. He's very secretive with his wizard sleeves. No, I haven't met Merlin yet.
Okay, because he's got a new coaster in Pennsylvania called Merlin's Mayhem.
Merlin's Mayhem? Yes. Looks pretty sweet, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like a zippy little family coaster, but I don't know why they needed LIM or LSM lift hill for it.
Can I just say that after Lightning Rod, shouldn't they have no lift hill made that way whatsoever?
Right.
That doesn't fucking work. So I want to talk about the elephant in the room. That is the fact that the Smiler removed people's legs, and how I'm assuming you are personally responsible for that somehow.
Yes. No, I'm not. It was absolutely... safety is massive in the English parks, and it's so different to the American parks where they're really quick at dispatching you. But my God, you should see Europe and Germany where you're just off. But here we take great care, and it's a massive shame what happened. But no,
it's true. I got a text this morning, and someone is still at the media day for Wicker Man. What the fuck?
Wicker Man is amazing. I absolutely love Wicker Man. I was actually in a video recently where someone called it Nick Man, and they put my head in the space of the Wicker Man head, which is very amusing, I thought.
So then what's better for GCI coasters in Europe, Wicker Man or Wudon or any other GCI in Europe?
Do you mean Woden?
Or Wudon because it's German?
Wudon.
Okay.
That sounds Asian. It's like one of those ones in the Asian parks.
Yeah, Woden is more intense than Wicker Man, but I think Wicker Man Wicker Man is just perfect for Alton Towers because it just fits in with the landscape, and it's very, what's better than a family roller coaster based around human sacrifice? I
agree. It's
very, very Alton Towers. It's very dark. So is Woden, but it's more mystical and fantasy based, even though I have no idea what Woden's about because it's all in German.
I was absolutely disappointed though, because I was really hoping that when they released the artwork for the trains, the front of the trains was just going to be Nicolas Cage's face just screaming.
This is a common misconception, is that it's nothing to do with the film.
And that's the problem. It should have been.
Yeah, but it's actually based on real legend of the area where Alton Towers is. These things actually happen. That's why it's so perfect for Alton Towers.
So just like Hex.
Yeah, just like Hex, bit like 13, and now Wicker Man. And these pagan rituals aren't made up. There's real shit that happened. Hopefully it happens, not happens.
They should have a show at Alton Towers where they do those rituals 3 times a day.
Yes, they should have lots of shows at Alton Towers, but sadly, the British audience don't respond very well to shows, it seems. But I'm all for live burnings and sacrifice. Get rid of those non-annual pass holders. That's what I say.
For line jumpers.
Yeah, exactly. Smokers in the queue line, get rid of them. Make use of their flames.
That blows my mind that would happen at all. I mean, let's be honest. In America, when is the last time any of us have seen anyone smoking in a queue line?
Never.
Lightning rod at Dollywood. No, that's you see a ride smoking from the queue line.
The park wasn't open at that time.
Right. Okay, but it's more funny what I said.
If they're smoking, toss them in the rubbish bin.
If they're sucking on a fag in the queue line, it must be Nathan.
Okay, first of all, my name is Slater, bitch.
Slater, bitch. Okay.
Slater, bitch.
Slater, bitch.
I don't know. I mean, we don't smoke in queue lines here. We have designated smoking areas, as they do in the States. But if you go to Disneyland Paris, fuck me, you're in for a fun time.
Well, because that's France. They're like these Parisian cafes where there's just the wafting smoke. It's ambiance.
I would assume that at Disneyland Paris, you know how at Disney World, they put the smell of cookies and stuff in the midway? I just figured they would just pump in the smell of fresh cigarettes.
Why do they have to be fresh?
Robin Williams did a great sketch once when he was alive, talking about what it would be, Disney building a park in Paris. And he said, there's Mickey standing there on Main Street smoking a cigarette with hairy armpits, saying, I never loved Mickey. Fuck you, Americans. Mickey only has 3 fingers. What am I, a bowling ball? Fuck off.
It's Robin Williams was actually gonna come on our show, but then his publicist contacted us and said he was hung up.
Or just hung.
He just wanted to hang out with Chester from Lincoln Park.
Why would anyone want to hang out with that?
The only people that don't like smoking at Disneyland Paris are Americans.
Really?
And on a recent trip, the girl I was with got told off by an American for smoking. And
wow.
Yeah, so you Americans, you're fusspots.
Typical American imperialism.
Really? I know.
Damn our hate of cancer. Fucking hell.
I know.
Well, we eat grilled meats that are filled with carcinogens, so we don't hate cancer that much.
No, I know. Well, that's the thing. As Americans, we are allowed to be hypocritical.
Oh, right. It is our God-given right in the Constitution.
Now, we do not get political on this show whatsoever. But for the one time, I have to ask this question.
Yes.
Trump, what do you think?
Is he real?
I've been asking myself that.
This to me just seems like an elaborate Saturday Night Live sketch that's gone on far too long.
It's like they took the idea from Idiocracy and said, "Hey, this wouldn't actually happen, did it?" And yeah.
I feel like Amy Winehouse in her current state would have made a better president. That's all I'm going to say.
Robin Williams in his current state would make a better president.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's we're still pinching ourselves. We can't get over Brexit, and now we have this prat to deal with. So It's like a very very good comedy show that we're watching from afar that's getting dangerously close.
I feel like I need to say this. Now, I know exactly what Brexit is, but I don't think a lot of our listeners do. So do you want to just very briefly tell people what Brexit is? Because
I wasn't prepared for Politics 101.
From the horse's mouth.
Wow, Slater.
I'm a naysayer. The thing is, England is its own country. We have the pound instead of the euro, but we've always been, well, not always, since about the 60s, we've been part of the European Union. And they bestow upon us all these rules that we have had to abide by. And then at some point, I can't work out how, someone got annoyed and said, let's have a referendum, which, as you know, is a vote. Set the differences in our country, our voting system actually works. In our country,
shots fired,
to leave the EU. And no one was prepared for the fact that we might actually end up leaving the EU. And that's what happened. So we're all just faffing around trying to work out what to do. And no one knows what to do. So yay for politics.
So basically, to put it this way, European Union is J.K. Rowling, and the British people are Universal.
Exactly.
So, what's your home park? What do you think about it? Tell us a little bit about it.
This is difficult because I live in London, so we don't really have a home park. In the fact that London, for me, has what we call midway attractions, which are often owned by Merlin, though there have been a couple of others over time. So we have the London Dungeon, we have Sea Life, we have Madame Tussauds, we have the London Eye, we have Shrek's Adventure, all within about a mile of each other. And I kind of count that as a mini theme park in itself. Now, if I were to give a geeky answer as regards the theme park closest to me, it would be Thorpe Park. But very near that is also Chessington World of Adventures. So around me, I have Thorpe Park, Chessington, London Dungeon, Sea Life, Shrek's Adventure, Madame Tussauds. So there's kind of 6 big attractions, all under the Merlin umbrella, which are great. So I don't really know how to answer that. And the London Eye, of course.
So my question is, have you partaken in the weed that Merlin is growing, that we've heard Merlin growing?
By Legoland.
No, they sadly don't give that out to annual pass holders.
See, that's what you got to do. That's the next thing. Theme parks, that's the next thing.
I wish people would realize that at Disney, when you join Club 33, that's what that is.
Well, there wasn't any when I went into Club 33. I was very disappointed.
Well, aren't you a fancy bitch? Jesus Christ, Mike Collins is shitting in his pants right now. So can you get Mike Collins into there? Because I'm pretty sure that if by proxy you get Mike Collins of Coaster fucking Radio into Club 33, he would literally suck my dick. So, can you do this?
No. Because I was a guest myself, so I'm not a member, alas. But it's very nice. It's very expensive.
Is it worth it, though?
Well, I don't get the whole concept of Club 33. You should fucking get free drinks and free food when you go in there.
So it's not free, so you have to pay. How much are you looking?
I don't know. I had, I think, a drink and some French fries and something else, and it was about $30. You know, it's normal Disney prices.
Fries?
Yeah, that's normal Disney price.
But can I point
French
out,
fries?
like, at that point, if you're affording Club 33, $30, you blow your nose with that shit. So
That's true. But
so what you're saying is Merlin is not paying you Club 33 level money. Which I'd never expect that because musicians never make that much money.
I don't think anyone in this industry gets paid Club 33 money.
Bob Iger does.
Not even. I was going to say.
There you go.
Now he owns Star Wars, he probably does. Can I just ask you guys, as you know, the world's largest experts in the theme park industry?
Oh, hey, wait a second. We're not that fat.
Go ahead.
In a year's time, when Star Wars opens in California, where they don't have My Magic Plus, how the hell are they going to concentrate those crowds? And the whole
Yeah.
the whole point of Star Wars is, you're being tracked, and everything you do in one land is going to interact with the restaurant and the toilet and all this kind of stuff. So, how are they going to do that?
I think it's going to have to revolve around what some people are predicting is Max Pass, how that service is going to be expanded, built upon, so that by the time Star Wars comes in less than a year, I guess, Max Pass might have some integration with it. Some people are speculating that you might have to have Max Pass to get into Star Wars land, period. It might be where you have to have Max Pass to get a Fast Pass for these Star Wars attractions at all. So you maybe go into the land, buy stuff, but you can't ride it unless you have Max Pass. I don't know, but it definitely is a question mark that we're all wondering about.
No matter how they do it, it's going to be a disaster.
It's going to be worse than Steel Vengeance. I mean, 6 hours for one ride.
Who knew that could be possible?
That doesn't open.
Exactly.
God.
Hey, it's open. It's open. Just with one train.
I cannot wait for the Nerd Rage.
I know.
When it opens, I want us to do an episode where we read the reviews. I cannot wait.
Well, it's not going to be the nerds that are raging. It's going to be the random parents and people that go into Disneyland thinking that they're going to be able to go up, walk up to all these attractions, do everything that they want to do because they're paying $140. And it's just not going to happen.
And it's not theme park nerds.
That happens now at Disney World. So, I mean, that's no...
It's going to be exponentially increased.
Well, I think what they're going to do is they're going to use this Max Pass, and they're going to use GPS to track our cell phones, and that's how we're going to be able to... They're going to, like, move us around. They're going to give us... they're going to incorporate all of this.
A British company. Yeah.
Hot jinx.
A British company, yeah.
To also do the Wicker Man pre-show.
So you said they're going to move them around like the little tweezers over people in Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Right, exactly. No,
then drop them on water to drown them.
I don't think Florida's going to have the difficulties that California's having. I'm just wondering, I mean, first of all, California has to add fucking Wi-Fi to its park. That's their first hurdle.
True.
You know what I'm loving about this right now? And I'm just going to sum up all of this, like, past 5 minutes. Fuck California.
Why? Because Care Bear's there?
Sure. Which, by the way, Hang Time, did their season pass, holder preview yesterday.
And?
He didn't go!
Well, that's why it was a success.
What? What?
Can I just say, I love California. It's my favorite place to go in the world with parks. I mean, I did it last year the year before, with the season pass guys, and Knott's treat us incredibly well. It's a lovely place of parks, but I just don't understand how the Star Wars thing is going to work there, because it's just going to be mental.
It is going to be quite interesting. Speaking of parks in the U.S., I mean, obviously, you have to be aware of the SeaWorld bullshit going on out here, right?
I'm aware of SeaWorld, yes.
Now, we're all out here really rooting for Merlin to just fucking buy them. Please!
Yes.
Why?
Would you tell your wizard to please purchase at least the Busch Gardens parks?
Hasn't that been and gone, though? Haven't they said, they once said we are interested, then they said, nope, we're not interested anymore.
Things change. People change. They change their minds. They change their
I think it would make absolute sense for them to buy it, because it would give them bigger presence in Orlando. They have the Eye, or the Icon, or whatever the hell they're calling it now.
Right.
They have Two Swords. They have Sea Life.
They have Legoland in Florida.
I love that they called it Icon. I'm like, were they just literally like, oh, it's in the U.S., we can totally rip off Blackpool out here?
And Amanda Thompson, who owns Blackpool, got very annoyed about that.
Oh, I love that. That's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, shit. You lazy motherfuckers.
Wow.
I think it's because of the Eye. It is the Eye. I'm not saying it's a con, but it's the Icon. You know what I mean.
Right.
I don't understand it either.
We're catching your drift.
So they have Legoland as well. And if they had Busch Gardens, Africa... No, not Africa anymore. Tampa. In my day, it was Africa.
Tampa. Sorry. Tampa.
No, Tampa. Tampon. And you have...
that's inappropriate.
I love that.
Sir, what show do you think you're on?
That's now what I'm calling it. Thank you for that. I'm stealing that.
All right.
I love it.
I pulled some strings. Sorry.
Please continue with your...
All right, let's stop this, period. So we have...
It's not that time of the month.
Not for you, bitch. So yes, they have Legoland, and it would just make sense for them to have Busch Gardens. I think if it would have happened, it would have happened by now. It just seems, it's been stagnated for too long. It would be brilliant if they owned it. I think they would really... the Sea World parks, I would very happily see them make into their Sea Life brand, which I know all over the States is the aquarium midway attractions. I see it being Hershend or Six Flags or Cedar Fair.
No, please don't say that. Please don't say that.
The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. I think, why do you want Merlin to take over?
Because I think Merlin represents with what I've seen in their parks around the world, they have a similar production value and this quality of the experience, which is similar to what the Busch Gardens parks offer. Both in...
And to condense that, they're less methy. Less methy.
Busch Gardens Tampa will always be methy. Let's just clear that up.
That's true. Because you live nearby, darling.
Yeah, I can throw shade at Busch Gardens Tampa. Love the park, but I live here, so I can throw shade.
If Hershend were to take over the Busch Gardens parks and maybe even the SeaWorld parks, life would go on and the parks would still be enjoyable. But
because they're really good at that, because Wild Adventures is amazing.
And what they're going to do is they're not going to do anything to the parks. They're not Silver Dollar City and they're not Dollywood.
Silver Dollar City and Dollywood, while they are enjoyable parks, they are less polished in...
The theme seems to be shack.
Yes, and so they play up on that, and they're not as polished, and they don't elevate it to the Busch Gardens level. So I think.
But guys, now they theme after time travel too.
Time travel in a brown field.
Yes. What are your thoughts on Time Traveler from looking away at it from across the world?
The ride looks fab and fun, and it just needs to be fucking indoors with theming.
That would be cool.
And lights and lasers and stuff to simulate time travel.
What would be really cool is if you got into a police box looking car. I would love that.
I don't see them getting the rights for Doctor Who.
I know, but that would be so cool.
We are now in the British pop culture section of this show. So, what do you think about Downton Abbey?
Never seen it.
God, no. You know what I love is in my job, I actually talk to...
You have a job?
People from the... I do, believe it or not.
I didn't know either. That makes two of us.
I talk to people in the outskirts of London every fucking day, and I'm dealing with clients out there. We only started doing this within the recent year. They do not like having a southern motherfucker answer the phone. Let me tell you that much. I literally yesterday, I was on the phone and someone called from one of our UK branches. And
for whom do you work? Are you allowed to say?
I can't say where I work, but
okay.
I answer the phone and this person's just like, "You're from America, aren't you?" I'm like, "Well, I am." Fuck Trump! And they hung up the phone on me.
Wow.
Did you pass along the message?
I did.
Did you fuck Trump, literally?
Oh, God. I have standards, motherfucker.
There's money in it.
I have fucking standards. And speaking of fucking Trump, and I feel like I need to say this to all of our listeners, despite what most Americans think, not all European people in general, they're not all homosexuals. Believe it or not.
They're just European.
In fact, and we need to say this on the show, you're not a homosexual.
I'm not a homosexual, no.
Whoa,
Holy
so we
shit.
have the majority.
No, we do. Oh, look at that.
We do.
I love how you had to think about it.
Are you questioning yourself today, Chris?
Slater, I don't like this. You didn't tell me we were going to be in the minority.
It's okay.
Today.
We're louder, so we still win.
Yeah, we got this.
No, one of you is louder. Let's just be honest. One of you is louder.
Just fuck you if it's true.
I know it's true. That's why I said it.
And Ryan, just so you know, because we're a minority, we can totally work the guilt card. Not that it works on Goliath, but everyone else maybe.
Works for me.
Hey, I've never called you the F word. Flamer.
Flamer? Oh, God. I'm such a...
Fabulous. It's fabulous.
Did we say he could say faggot?
No, anyone can say faggot. I'm sorry.
Faggot here is a food. I'm just saying.
I thought it was a cigarette.
No, that's fag.
So you put it in your mouth?
Oh, my bad.
You have faggot. You can put faggots in your mouth, and you can put fags in your mouth. And then you can eat.
I'm fascinated because what kind of food is this?
Oh, I don't know. I don't eat it. I think it's like...
We established that.
I'm going to Google it. Faggot faggot food.
Just ignore all the pictures of Tony Clark that come up.
Talk amongst yourself.
Yeah, don't Google faggot food.
Turn your safe search off.
So it's kind of like meatballs, I guess you could say. Pork faggots. Mr. Brains, 2 pork faggots in a rich West Country sauce. The tagline for this is, you asked for it, now with more sauce.
M squared's nightmare.
They're literally balls covered in sauce, which is just how Slater likes it.
My question is, can you get it at Pound Town?
Is that a place or a shop?
That's a shop. It's like a dollar store.
Sounds like a gay bar.
It does.
I'd go there.
Pound Town. I think what we call Poundland. Here we are, Wikipedia. A faggot is traditionally made from pig's heart, liver, and fatty belly meat or bacon minced together with herbs added for flavouring and sometimes breadcrumbs.
I think that's one faggot I might not eat.
There's a picture here of a faggot being cooked, and I don't mean torture.
Lovely day for a stoning.
Anyway.
It's actually captioned a faggot being cooked. I'm on the same page.
Oh.
Speaking of faggots and food, if we were coming to, your local park, where would you take us? We're big foodies. We love food. Where would you take us for a good night if, something was on the line?
And just so you know, I have to intersect, is wherever we go, we're Americans. We're going to have to order 2 of everything with your all fucking small portions.
Okay, well, there's, if we were, can I ask which park? If you were to say Alton Towers, that would have a different answer.
The best. Just the best overall. Someplace you're like, oh my God, these guys have to taste this. Or you guys have to go to this restaurant.
Do you mean for the taste or the experience, said she?
Either.
Okay.
Either. Both.
Why not roller coaster restaurant?
I was going to say the roller coaster restaurant at Alton Towers is probably the first thing that springs to mind purely for the experience. But for the fat fucks amongst you, I would take you to the pizza and pasta buffet just because it's unlimited pizza, pasta, salad, and soft drinks for £10.
I love how British people say pasta. Pasta.
Now, is this pizza? Now you're pretty close to Italy. Is this like Italian margarita pizza?
No, it's American deep dish.
Very good. Very good. Okay.
Pizza.
I think you've won.
And it's good.
So I'll open his legs for you.
I still say it is the best value food you can get in any theme park in the world because it's just for £10 to sit there and stuff your fat face with pizza, pasta, salad, and soft drinks for as long as you want. And if you're lucky at Alton Towers, you get to eat to my music as well.
Very nice.
Hey, well, I will counter that. At Busch Gardens Tampa, they had a meal deal. $25. You got to eat as much as you want. There was no time limit on it. And you just got to go into all of their kiosks and restaurants and eat. And so I did it, but it's not there anymore. But it was also a great
Eating is the national pastime out here. Can I say something that's going to be really controversial, but I'm going to stand by it? Because that is that the beer game in the UK fucking sucks. Okay?
Really?
Your beer, compared to what we have in the US now, I am so tired of y'all's brown ales. Innovate, motherfuckers. You've been doing it longer than anyone else. What is going on with your boring-ass beer?
I don't drink beer, so I can't talk about that.
All right, get the fuck off our show. Fucking hell, what the hell?
Hey, I don't drink beer.
You're drinking a fucking whiskey, Slater, so you can't slate me. The mere thought of beer makes me vomit.
Oh my. Are you sure you're not American? What's wrong with you?
I just don't like beer.
Wow.
It's just gross.
Do your parents know? Are they okay? Did you have to come out of the closet like gay people do? Like Mom, Dad,
I don't like beer, bitch.
I don't like beer. And they cried I'm
No,
assuming, and put you in therapy?
My parents don't drink it much either.
I'm just floored by this.
You're distraught.
Usually we ask outside of the parks. So we want to find something local to the area, not necessarily in the parks themselves. What about that?
There's a Michelin star restaurant near me, which I could take you to if I had money, called La Trompette, which is French for the mushroom. And I think it's the 33rd best restaurant in England, and it's 2 minutes walk away from my house. So that's where we go. But you'd have to wear a tie. That's all I'm saying. You'd have to put trousers on and stuff.
Trousers. I love it.
I've done that before. I actually ate at Victoria and Albert's. I've done the whole dress up.
Yeah, but
stuff.
that's fake fancy.
That's true.
It's like Vegas.
It's true. It's Disney. Whatever.
Vegas is fake everything.
Fake like the women.
Yes. As Robin Williams said, where God looks down and said, "I did not make that."
Mr. Hudson, because you are a musician and a composer, and I think you like to listen to music too, probably, what is your favorite type of key, major or minor?
To write in or to listen to?
Both. Give us both, please.
I love writing horror music, so I'd probably say minor is my favorite to write in, because you can always go into major, but you can also, when you're writing in major, go into minor. To listen to major, who doesn't love a happy piece of music? Because when it goes to minor, it's a lot more unexpected.
Right, and it could take you places where you maybe are not ready for it.
Exactly.
Unless you're a British politician, you're not into fingering minors.
I was told at school my fingering was very good.
Oh, good. Excellent.
I
good
will say,
hear.
when it comes to dick, I'm definitely more of a major guy. Musically minor, for sure.
So our next question, getting a little away from that, is how did you get into coasters and theme parks, and how did that become involved in your occupation?
Blimey. I grew up at the time when the British parks really grew from nothing to something. In the early 90s, there was a chap called John Wardley who was entirely responsible for bringing the American-style big rides to the UK.
Believe it or not, most of us know who that is out here. He's kind of an American hero as well. Well, a hero to Americans as well.
Yeah, he's a good chap. And so, as I said earlier, I live near to Thorpe Park and Chesington World of Adventures. So they were the kind of places I went to as a child.
The Six Flags of Europe.
Yeah, the two flags.
I've read his autobiography, and he really has led an amazing life and done so many great things for the British parks.
Yeah, he's essentially our Disney, and I think that's the biggest praise I can give him.
Have you met him?
I have met him, and I've interviewed him lots of times. He's very, very good friend of mine. Yeah, he's lovely, and always at the end of an email, which is nice. He did every big ride in the UK practically, and I was at the time, as being a child, when those rides were starting to appear. So the vampire ride, Professor Burke's Bubble Works. How British is that title?
I have a gay porn with that title, actually.
God. Now I can't get the ride image out of my head. Thank you, Slater.
Rest
You're
in
welcome.
peace, by the way. I'm sorry that you lost it.
I know. But the Gruffalo's good. You probably got a gay porn with that as well.
Actually, it's a guy I hook up with, but anyways.
The Vampire he did at Chesington. He did the Fifth Dimension at Chesington, then Terror Tomb. He did the Haunted House at Alton Towers, which was an astonishing ride. The Runaway Mine Train at Alton Towers, Oblivion at Alton Towers, Air at Alton Towers. Every single big ride he did. So that's how I got into it. For my 9th birthday, I was taken to Walt Disney World, and I remember on my 9th birthday going into the Haunted Mansion and seeing all those amazing illusions and just being absolutely hooked. And then apparently I had a talent for music, and I got into musical theatre. Yes, I am straight, don't say anything. And
hey, I love musical theatre, and I am heterosexual as well.
I know, it's fabulous.
I'm sorry, all the dicks falling out of your all's mouths, I got distracted.
and I just kind of wanted to do music for attractions, because I love both of them, and I understand how they all work, so I thought there must be a way I can put this together. So through many hilarious circumstances, a good friend of mine from my musical theatre podcast called Dom, he was a presenter on it.
Go ahead and plug that properly. How do you spell that? How do people find that? If you've got something, plug it.
Oh, Musical Talk. It's Musical Talk. I know Americans are that stupid that I need to spell it, but anyway, it's musicaltalk.co.uk.
I'm glad you spelled that because keep in mind we do have listeners from the Dollywood area.
So you love our listener from the Dollywood area. You love his shorts.
I like to have one listener from the Dollywood area. I just had this image of this guy in overalls sitting outside on his porch, rocking to and fro to the fireflies, plucking on his banjo with his one eye hanging out, listening to the Ride This One.
That's how it is. That's exactly it.
That's exactly it.
That Nathan Slater's damn good, he is.
Yeah. I have 2 quick follow-up questions. What is your favorite musical, and what have you seen on the West End recently?
The other night I saw Bat Out of Hell, which is the Jim Steinman album set on stage, which is the most... I saw it last summer, and it's the most ridiculous show ever, purely because it has a car that gets pushed into the orchestra pit, and it has fire and explosions and things. I really can't answer the best show I've ever seen, because it's well into probably 500 of them by now.
Damn.
Remember earlier when I said there were three straight? I take that back. You guys have the majority again. Congratulations.
Slater, I knew we could do
Yay,
it.
toxic masculinity. But anyways, I do want to bring up is a bit ago, you mentioned Oblivion.
Yes.
Now, I don't know about everyone else here on the show, but for me, when that ride got built, that was around the time that I was really ramping up and getting roller coasters. And that was the ride that made me so envious. Oh my God, it was so insane. And it was one of those things that it was such a simple concept, but because of its packaging and the theme and just how it was put together, I mean, there's not much to the ride, but they made it amazing. I don't know. I just felt like I had to say that because even though in America, I'm going to say right now, in America, we have done much bigger dive coasters at this point, and technically they do more, but none of them have the allure today that Oblivion still has.
They don't drop you in a fucking hole, do they?
Well, but Canada.
Not yet.
Canada's going to do that. Canada's working on that.
What I love about Oblivion and most of Alton Towers is that the fact it's themed around death. And this kind of whole thing is they're applying psychiatric studies upon you. And you're in the station, and there's a screen above you, and it says, I'm kind of making this up, but it's along the lines of, for some, there is just no hope. And,
that is how I felt after the election.
Yeah. Well, Oblivion symbolizes the American election quite well, really.
I hope you mean that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, after you're dropped into the deep black hole, which is another ride at Alton Towers that is no longer with us.
And I normally love deep black holes.
I'm just trying to find the pre-show script because it's so deliciously dark. What Alton Towers do very well, and more than any American park does, is they embrace the darkness. Wicker Man would never get built in the States. Oblivion would never get built in the States. Nemesis, the whole theme is just twisted and dark, and that's what I love about the parks here, because I'm a massive horror fan, mostly. That's what kind of got me into all this in this world.
No. If Cedar Fair built it, they'd call Oblivion something like Florian. Something that makes no sense. It's something that they make up, but,
They wouldn't be able to keep the fire effects going beyond the first day or two.
It's true. Maybe a week. Maybe.
So, we have a question. What is your thoughts on Rob Alvey?
When I was younger, I used to really, really enjoy Rob's content on his site when you didn't really have many people going to parks in China and covering them, and parks in Japan and covering them in a very humorous way. I used to roar with laughter looking at the forum posts. I used to enjoy his, I guess you could say they were kind of vlogs. Everyone does fucking vlogs nowadays, but he was really the pioneer of that stuff. Yeah, he does questionable style now, which whatever you think of that, some might love, some might not. But I think he really is a bit like John Wardley. You know, he really is a pioneer in this fan industry, and he was the first to make, I think, being a fan a business. I would think before YouTube and before podcasts and everything else came along. I think he was a pioneer.
That was a very thoughtful answer. 2 weeks in a row of very thoughtful answers to that question, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
One of the questions that we came up with is, if you could have sex on any ride, hitting one of those fat cunts,
Are we talking about Paula's pussy mound?
I have no idea what kind of cunts he's want to hit, but whatever cunt he wants to hit, what would you do it? What ride would you do it? And tell us about, how would you go about it?
Oblivion, because it's 53 seconds long. No. And it goes into a deep, deep hole. I've been trying to think about this. It's, I don't know. I mean...
it's Bubble Works. All about the gay porn, because you were in it, bitch. I saw it.
I would probably say the old boring answer in some Haunted Mansion or Phantom Manor or something like that. Because it's slow and dark and, it's long-ish. You
Is
can
that
do it
what
2
the
or 3
ladies
times.
say about you? Long-ish?
Yeah, long-ish, yeah.
Long-ish.
And slow and dark.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, isn't there a coaster, maybe it's called the Grand National, if I'm not mistaken, at Pleasure Beach?
Pleasure Beach, yep.
Yeah. Doesn't it not have seatbelts still or any restraint?
It does have seatbelts, and you need them. It also has plush velvet seats, which are very nice.
Nice.
I feel like that would be a very good option for copulating on an amusement device with that plush and that airtime. It'd give you...
be perfect.
You'd fucking break her, though.
Hey, not as she stretched before.
Well, I tell you, one of the longest rides you could have is you take her on the Ultimate.
Yes, which I'm going on hopefully soon.
Nice.
Have you not ridden it before?
No, never been to that part before, and I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
Wow.
Look forward to hearing about it.
It's like 7 minutes or something ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the ride, actually, that, I'm trying right now to plan my first visit out there. And that is actually the ride I am looking forward to the most. I cannot wait for the Ultimate. It's just so ridiculous, and there's nothing else like it. Nothing.
And it was built by British Rail, which is
right,
like Amtrak. Imagine they built a roller coaster.
It would get delayed every 10 minutes.
7 minutes, 34 seconds, 7,442 feet, or 2,268.
To be fair, most of that is a lift hill.
Now, I forgot. Is the Ultimate a wooden or a steel coaster?
It's a steel coaster.
So it's a steel coaster, but I thought it had like wooden supports a lot. Am I misremembering that? So I guess you could call it a hybrid. Speaking of that...
Then you could call all Aero mine trains hybrids.
I would.
Right.
Yes, I would. And at me if you disagree. But I would call them hybrids.
At you?
Would
At you?
Yeah, it's a Twitter phrase, old man. Okay. We have another question. Wood or steel, if you had to pick one to shove up your ass? Or ride as a coaster?
Can I say both?
Of course you can. You can be a buy rider.
The RMC stuff is really rare here. In fact, we don't have any. And I really like Twisted Colossus, and I hopefully will get on Steel Vengeance one day. I know at Wallaby Holland, I think they're doing an RMC conversion on their Robin Hood coaster for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so because Wood at Blackpool, now Alton Towers, Oakwood, Megaphobia, which is still the best wooden coaster in the country. You've got Steel, but the Wood and Steel, we don't have that much of, ironically, apart from the Ultimate, if you want to go back to that conversation.
Right, and in 20 years, Wicker Man will be RMC'd, so you have that to look forward to as well.
Yes, I look forward to that when I'm 55.
Yeah.
What would RMC do? They would not know what to do. Like, we'll make it taller. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't. You can't make it taller. Oh, well, what are they going to do?
Dig a hole.
Dig a hole. Like,
no, they're not. Have you seen that they're going to shorten it? Well, that's what they're going to do. RMC shortens rides. They don't make them bigger.
That's what she said.
They're going to make it a mirror copy of Oblivion.
Make the lift hill a launch.
No, just no.
That would give you the extra speed.
Hey, in 20 years, hopefully they've gotten those launches fixed.
We'll work on the brakes first, though.
True. Very true. We need to work on the brakes first. Good point.
I think it would have been cool if they went with RMC and did the launch thing, but I think then Dollywood happened and they probably went,
I think everyone went, oh fuck, when that happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't RMC's fault. It was.
So
yeah.
I mean, with that, I mean, what do you want? What do you dream that your home park will build next? We'll just call it Alton Towers this point. What do you hope is the next secret weapon out there?
Well, Alton Towers is 275 miles away from me, so I would say if my home park, as in Thorpe Park, I dream they're going to build a Woody. Because Merlin, they tend to, might do deals. Buy one CGI, get two free. So I wouldn't be surprised if Thorpe got a Woody at some point. I want Thorpe to get a proper dark ride, and I want...
maybe a combination.
Woody and dark ride. Yes.
Is the Ghost Train not enough for you?
Ghost Train is one of my favourite attractions. And I see you have favourite ride on your rundown here.
Go ahead and answer that.
Wait, you're ruining the magic. What?
Yes.
We're not coming up with this on the top of our head? What?
No. So what's your favorite ride?
Oh, that was believable as fuck.
Let me go back into that because Darren Brown is my favourite ride. But I would like Thorpe to get a Woody, and I would like Alton Towers to get a new dark ride, I think, because Thorpe has Darren Brown, and I want Alton Towers to get something on that level, but not a VR weird whatever the hell Darren Brown is.
Right.
I'm still really confused by Darren Brown.
That's a person or a ride?
Maybe both. But it just seems like something that would never fly in America to me. There's a lot of stuff that you all will build and spend an absurd amount of money because that was so expensive, holy shit, that you would never get that in the US. Not like that.
Why not?
Because no one would ride it.
Because it's Darren Brown or because no one would know what it was?
Well, first of all, yeah, no one knows who Darren Brown is.
Who's Darren Brown?
Exactly, right there.
He's a wizard like Merlin. They're friends.
Oh, okay.
Is this like Game of Thrones or something?
Think David Copperfield, but less of a rapist.
Darren Brown is one of the world's greatest magicians, and he is what they call a psychological illusionist, where he was able to look at you and guess what you're thinking along those lines using...
And if you have Netflix, watch The Push, Darren Brown's The Push. That's going to tell you all about, a little bit about him and what he does.
Cool.
Well, I have to say, I'm a little surprised that your favorite attraction is not I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Because that looks amazing.
It's well themed. It's not an attraction. It's not a ride. It's a kind of walkthrough thing. I've never seen the TV show I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here because I'm not an idiot. So the attraction doesn't mean much to me. Just more about Darren Brown. When I went to the Magic Castle in California, you merely mention his name and they bow to their knees because he is so admired in the magic industry, and the attraction itself is such a clever illusion that if you're not looking for it, you are gobsmacked when you come out of the ride vehicle for the first time and then the second time. That's all I'll say.
Wait, Slater, did you catch that? If you go to the Magic Castle in California, you mention Darren Brown's name, they will get on their knees in front of you.
Well, Mike Collins is quite the magician, so let me try it out next time I'm hanging out with him.
And when will that be, Slater? When are you going to hang out with Mike next?
On July 28th at the Coaster fucking Radio meetup at Silver Dollar City. So yes, that's and I'll have to try it out then for sure. Now, one thing I want to ask you, and it just kind of came to my mind, is we're an American-centric show. I mean, we're all Americans on here. But we are trying to appeal more to...
straights?
Other places. No. God, not straights. To people across the pond. Now, how can we do that without changing anything?
Have me on every week.
Do you want Nick's Closet? And you talk about something going on in the UK? Because you're welcome to it.
No, because I already do 2 fucking podcasts, so the thought of doing a third. I think there's a good friend of mine called Sean Sandbrook, who does the UK's biggest YouTube channel for theme parks called Theme Park Worldwide. If you check his videos out, he talks a lot about the European stuff, because you can find American news anywhere. I mean, Screamscape. I
think if you really want to know the most about Sean, though, and it's your fault because you introduced it, you need to actually go onto Twitter or look up the Moss Machine.
Yes.
That is accurate. I have been following him recently, and I have been laughing my ass off.
Adam is very funny, and he kind of brings all us coaster enthusiasts down to earth, which is sometimes a good thing, because...
Wait, what? that somebody does that?
Yes.
We need somebody in America to do that.
I think he's called Slater. He just sits on them.
I do. I do. It's really more than sitting on my dick.
Do you think that if we were to work on our appeal to foreign markets, if we talked in their accents more, that it would help them with...
No, because then it just becomes hilariously racist.
Racist?
I'm okay. That's fine. That's fine. If it's hilarious...
Oi, welcome to Royd This One Podcast.
Royd? We do have the letter I, you know. Yeah, I think stick to Sean's content, because, as I said, he really focuses on the European stuff and the worldwide stuff. My friend Jordan at cupcakesandcoasters.com does a really good blog where she looks at a lot of the more wacky European parts and the news that's happening out there. So, you know, there's more to theme parks than just Theme Park Review and Screamscape.
What? But it's true. It's true.
No.
There are more park brands out there than Cedar Fair and Six Flags.
That's false.
That's fake news, motherfucker. No, you know, it's true, though. Enthusiasts, coaster enthusiasts everywhere are fucking crazy. We're a bunch of fucking
we absolutely
basement dwellers, mouth breathers. So with that, I would like you to tell us about your worst park experience, aka crazy guest and or fan experience that you've had.
My worst park experience, I would say Cedar Point.
That's been true for a lot of people lately.
Well, this was in 2004, I think.
Wow.
So how many rides did you get in that day? Was it more than one? It
was an evening, and it was the next day. It was the next day that I struggled, because it was just so fucking hot and no shade anywhere. It's like they make...
Welcome to America, bitch.
It's like, do you cut the trees down so we have no shade, so we have no choice but to buy your ridiculously overpriced drinks?
Yes.
And
onto us.
And we're going to get you to buy the souvenir cup and then tell you have to pay for a locker.
Well, this brings me on to the other half of the question. When I retract my previous answer, and I'm going to move it from Cedar Fair to Six Flags, because they're even worse.
Perfect.
When I was at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey, it was a mild heat wave, and I wasn't prepared for said heat wave, so I had jeans and a sweatshirt on, and it was like 95 degrees or something.
No.
To add insult into injury, this was at their dumb time when they were charging you per ride to put stuff in the mandatory locker for $1. So we were paying $1 per ride, effectively, and I wasn't allowed to bring water into the queue line that I bought in the fucking park.
I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I really am.
I craved... This was at a time before you could get American foods easily in England, so I love combos. And we stopped off at the gas... Oh, shut up.
At least somebody likes them.
What are combos?
Combos are Slater.
Combos.
Oh, like the pretzel things.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So I got some combos at the gas station on the way to the park, and they fucking took them off me and threw them in the bin, the trash can, in front of me.
Oh no.
It's like, welcome to Six Flags, and then charge $20 to park your car, and $60 to get in, and $20 for a slice of pizza or some ridiculous thing like that.
Wait, so they searched you and took your combos before you even parked your car?
No, once we're going into the park.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Guess you can bring it.
And then the $1 per ride to get on the, it's just all parks are businesses apart from Efteling. I understand that, so they have to make money, but there are more subtle ways of doing it, and I don't think Six Flags have got it yet.
I have to say, though, Six Flags has improved things. They're better than Cedar Fair. Cedar Fair now has a... No. Six Flags has moving lockers. You can rent a locker for $5, have it for the entire day. Okay.
Cedar Fair now has the same system.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah. Merlin, you leave your stuff on the platform because we're grown-ups.
But the problem is that slows down operations and it's a safety liability.
It doesn't for Hershenden. They sure manage it.
We have lockers that close as the ride moves off.
We don't spend money here.
And you don't feel like you're cattle. That's the one thing I hate about the Cedar Fair stuff is the cattle pen.
Really? Because I feel more like cattle at Disney.
Well,
that's a given.
That's a given.
You mentioned Efteling. And I want to just mention them one thing. I am a dark ride guy, okay?
Yep.
And Efteling here very recently built, in my opinion, what is probably one of the best dark rides built ever. And that's Symbolica.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if anybody has watched the POV, because I know y'all bitches haven't been on it. Okay.
I have.
But, well, you have, bitch. That's what we're getting to. But Symbolica is truly unreal. Nothing like it in the U.S. at all. So, now, obviously, Nick, as you said, you've ridden it. Fuck you, I am so jealous.
Well, I was chatting to my friend Jordan from cupcakesandcoasters.com about it, and she was saying they obviously went on Mystic Manor first.
Yeah.
It's like the younger brother of Mystic Manor, which to me looks like the greatest dark ride in the world, period. And it's nice that we have Efteling's version. You can't compare the two, even though there are subtle similarities in the execution. It's a very, very beautiful dark ride, but to me it lacked a finale. It's very quaint, it's very serene, it's, as I said, it's beautiful, but it just lacks something at the end to give you, and a lot of the rides at Efteling are like this, but I think that's just their market.
So they market to the people that like blue balls.
They always want to leave you wanting more.
I think they market at a very, very family-based thing. I mean, even Baron Ekenekt is about 45 seconds long post-Lift Hill. It just seems that it needs something to really push it up there. But Slater is correct. It's a fucking triumph of a design. You know, the ceilings, and there are floors, and there's lighting, and there's mirrors that you can see yourself and other things in. And
the whale.
The whale.
The moment that whale shows up, holy fucking shit.
Though I hear the whale has been having problems lately, and it's not there. So when I go back in about 2 months' time, I'll be able to report back.
What I love is that if Six Flags actually built something like that, in 2 months' time, you would they just turn all the lights off and you'd run through in the dark.
You got to give Six Flags credit for the comic book dark rides.
No, because every single one I have rode, they are broke as fuck. They are broke as fuck already.
But is that because you know them and you're able to compare them, or they just look broken? Like
just screens not working, animatronics not moving.
How many have you been on?
I've been on 3 of them now.
Which ones?
Magic Mountain Great Adventure in St. Louis.
So you finally went to St. Louis?
I am ashamed to admit it, but yes, I did.
Why did you not tell us this? Why did you not admit us to this last season when you went?
Well, you know,
or did you go this season?
I may have snuck up there for a quick weekend. I may not have told anyone where I was going. I may have been supposed to have been at work. Whatever. It doesn't.
He might have been having a dalliance with a lovely young lad. called Prince Louis.
You know, one of the best fucks I ever had was this British guy, actually. I'm a fan of uncut cock. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm absolutely fine with it.
I was just going to say they're all uncut over there.
Did he show you his spotted dick?
Well, I've got, since you brought up the Battle for Metropolis, I have to plug the fundraiser. This year I'm doing Coaster-thon again.
A Coaster-thon?
Yes.
We are and that is how in America, basically at theme parks, that's how we help cancer babies.
That's how people pay for medical treatment, is Coaster-thon.
Because out here we have this thing like terrible healthcare system. So we have to have charities to help people pay for their medical debt.
We just go to the doctor, so...
Well, It ends up evening out when like everybody gets their Coaster-thon check, and it's pretty much universalized.
Wait, can I apply
for
that?
I don't think that many people are getting Coaster-thon checks. I don't think you could apply for that either, Slater.
I tell you what, if you want to get your medical bills taken care of, do what a friend of our show did, and that's right, still vengeance, and then be hurt but not really hurt.
The shade's real today.
Well, I hope it goes really, really well.
Thank you.
Speaking of Symbolica, have you ridden all 4 of the different tracks on it?
No, I've only done it once, because it does gather extremely large lines, as you say in the colonies. But
queue
lines. But it's
okay. Queue line. You're just saying line. Queue means line. God fucking damn it. And I say it too, and it annoys me.
I know, but you also, in your country, say pizza pie, which is effectively pie.
Okay,
ATM
nobody says pizza pie. I don't go there and say, I'll have a pizza pie. No.
Pin number.
That one we do. Okay,
that is
touche.
Ignorant.
No, I haven't done... so for those of you who don't know, the Symbolica, you get in a car in the station, and you get in one car and it takes you on one route. You kind of meet in rooms and then split off into different corridors. It's very, very clever. You have a mystery tour. I think you have a music tour. You have a hero tour. Is there one more?
The treasure tour?
Yeah, treasure tour. That's it. But yeah, I've only done it once. And I got the music tour, which was nice.
What a coinky-dink.
Fun how that worked.
Oh, so you know what? Turns out, guys, actually, Mock made a mistake.
What?
It turns out Time Traveler was supposed to go to Blackpool, and we were supposed to get Icon. God fucking damn it.
We were cheated.
Is that the issue?
We were cheated.
I'm going to the Icon event in the week after next. I don't know when this episode drops, but I'm very, very excited. It's almost ironic that Blackpool gets the beautiful, smooth steel thing, and Alton Towers gets the woody... you'd think it would be the other way around, and I wonder if that's entirely coincidence or not. But Icon looks really, really fun.
It looks so good. I'm I'm hoping we get our version at Carowinds in 2019. We need some good, and I stress that good Herschend Corp mock coasters in the US.
Yes. So we were talking about mock and launches and stuff. So have you ridden Terran?
I rode Terran last summer at the beautiful Phantasialand in Germany, and holy crap on a cracker, that is one hell of a good coaster. And of course, no Americans were talking about it. All they were jizzing over was Outlaw Run. And I'm so glad it won Best Ride in the World for the Coaster Radio Ride of the Year, because it deserves it.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I voted for that. I voted for Terran. I did.
There was plenty of buzz domestically about it. Like, that was that coaster that was shrink-wrapped for years before it opened.
Yeah. I feel sorry for the guys who went around removing that. I know, the whole time they're cutting, they're like, fuck, why they fucking hell.
I bet the bubble wrap was fun, though.
Oh, they should have just run the train with the bubble wrap. That would have sounded amazing.
It's such a good ride. That second launch, it's astonishing. I know you have Maverick, I think, at Cedar Point, which is much like that, but it's this is something else. It's just the theming. You put that low on the ground with Lord of the Rings, whatever style theming that was, and build a village, and they came. It's
actually, it looked more like Superman's Fortress of Solitude after global warming.
Well, yes, it's like a burnt Fortress of Solitude.
Yes.
With waterfalls. But, I mean, guys, if you come to Europe, pilgrimage to that park because...
Trust me, when I come to Europe, I'm becoming a lot. I am definitely into the British plays. I cannot wait.
Stunning ride. And I'm going to be on that on my birthday this year, which would be nice. And the park lets you in for free on your birthday, which is even nicer. Beat that,
Whoa.
Six Flags.
That's awesome.
You get free meth at Six Flags on your birthday. Well, it's not really free.
No, that's not even free. We don't know free here.
They just won't kick you out if you wrestle it away from one of the other rednecks. It's
tell you that sounds like something going on in Vancouver.
Things happen in Vancouver.
Yeah, apparently there is a adults only Playland nights.
Yeah, Playland at in Vancouver. They are doing this promotion that they first did last year, which is an adults-only night. No little brats nipping at your ankles. It sounds amazing. There's an evening of adult entertainment and lines without the petty little fucks that are annoying.
And there's a collective sigh of disappointment from all pedophiles in the area. I mean, what are they thinking?
Thorpe Park has Ministry of Sound dance nights coming up soon, where the park is open to over 18s only, and there's a nightclub till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Have you been there when that event happens?
My worst nightmare, but no, I haven't. I'm too old.
You wouldn't want to go to a sex-fueled romp like that?
No, not at all. It's far too many millennials Snapchatting their way through the evening for my liking, but...
okay.
That sounds cool, though, in Canada. It's about time they had something like that.
Right? Well, I mean, it sounds really cool. They've got multiple bars serving craft beer, wine, and cocktails. And then you know what? What's better than handing a redneck Canadian an axe so we can do axe throwing once you've had a drink? Yeah, let's do it.
This literally is giving me a hard on just thinking about that picture.
And then they also have burlesque shows with to bring back the old school carny experience. They have burlesque shows. That sounds awesome.
I've done some burlesque shows in my life.
Have you performed or composed?
Composed.
Less interested now.
Yeah. Cool though. Hey guys, did you hear SeaWorld is finally starting to turn around?
What?
They had a little boost in attendance this year.
That didn't have anything to do with Easter, did it?
Well, we'll just check that at the sideline.
Okay. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. No, we're not. We've talked. We don't need to talk about Easter. We don't need to talk about. We don't need to talk about SeaWorld.
Well, I love what SeaWorld. You know what their strategy, their new strategy is that they're going to put a new attraction in every park each year, just like Six Flags. So it's working for Six Flags, but you know what this means?
More Larson Loopers.
Yes, more Larson Loopers, but I cannot wait for their new aquarium of goldfish coming in to San Antonio.
You got to give credit to SeaWorld because they have had a bit of a rubbish time. And whatever you think of the whole captivity situation, it's not something they would wish to happen. And I think Mako looks great. I think the new
Rapids... But nobody in Orlando did.
Well, is that their market, though? Or are they more interested in the tourists?
Well, the tourists didn't care either. They added that, and they lost attendance when they added that. Lost attendance.
But me and the 10 other people that love it just go on it all day.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a great ride, but I mean, holy shit.
Nobody goes there for it.
But then you got the rapids they're adding, and I think the Sesame Street thing looks cool. But just get rid of the animals. Just make it like a Tokyo Disney Sea kind of park.
Their stock went up when they announced the Sesame Place expansion, which goes to show that IPs fucking work. And I guarantee you, I think we're going to see a lot of IP acquiring now from them, and I think we're going to start seeing them try to do
exactly what Madden are doing.
I agree.
I do have a question. I have a question for you, Slater. I have a question about IPs and stuff. So I was looking at preparing for my trip to Silver Dollar City, and you can meet the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can meet two of them. You can meet Michelangelo and fucking Raphael. Who wants to meet Raphael?
That is a good. That's a good point.
Anybody?
No one.
No one. No one wants to fucking meet Raphael.
Why is there not a proper Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pizza place anywhere?
Thank you. That would be amazing. Holy crap. I would totally be there.
I mean, that IP is the biggest acid trip, and it just needs to exist properly somewhere.
Absolutely. That would be awesome.
You'd make a fortune.
Speaking of internationally recognized IPs, what properties out there remain that are not entangled into some conglomerate that owns one specific park chain?
Obviously, the 80s hit Small Wonders, or Vicky the Robot, as a lot of people know it.
That would be awesome. Hell yeah.
I was thinking the only park, sorry I had to fart, the only park I could see being built in the States, not Dubai or anywhere like that, that's a brand that has access to a lot of properties, now bear with me because it's a bit out there, is Netflix.
Didn't you briefly mention that on your ERT?
I think so, and it's just been drawing. Thank you for listening, by the way.
My pleasure.
It's just been bubbling away in my mind because it seems it's a recognised brand linked only to film and television, unlike Amazon, which be, Amazon Park. It doesn't really. Was that Jungles? You can imagine it. Netflix Studios Orlando. It just.
You know what I really want?
Yeah, we know what you want, Slater. But
you know what I really want? There's
yeah,
one.
Dick.
Yeah, I know, but what I want, and I'm going to butcher the name of this, I'm sure. But I want a Garth Marenghi's Dark Place section anywhere. Does anybody know that show?
Nope.
No.
No.
Oh my god. Okay, funniest British show ever. Fucking hell, how does nobody know this show?
Especially the Brit.
Are You Being Served would like a word. I vote for Are You Being Served personally, but
do you see what I mean? Though it's such a strong household brand.
Personally, what I would be excited about though, is the hotel, the Netflix and Chill hotel.
Yeah.
the really awkward House of Cards area.
The restaurant, the Netflix and Chili's,
and don't forget, that they've got access to. They've got access to Arrested Development, so there's going to be banana stands.
Yeah.
Because there's money in the banana stands.
Then Hulu's going to try to compete with their Handmaid's Tale rape experience.
Well, then there's also the 13 Reasons Why music coaster with onboard audio.
I'm glad that you got that, Goliath.
It was great. It was great.
The Orange is the New Black canteen.
Oh,
yes.
God.
Where they kneel on your chest.
But
can I just go walk through the Danny Tanner house? I mean, and
the
maybe
Full House house,
the Full House. Meet
or
actually get to see him
in somewhat awesome. Semi-serious land. A series of unfortunate events ride.
That'd be cool.
Oh yes, I would be so game for that. Honestly, I'm so happy that somebody I feel like has done those books justice on screen. I'm not surprised it's that fucking faggot Neil Patrick Harris. He's amazing, and it was
major fan of mine.
Major fan of yours.
Hello, Neil, if you're listening. I fucking doubt you are.
Actually, no. We have confirmation that he has at least listened to our show before.
Really?
Do we know how for how long?
Slater.
Now, whether he turned it off immediately or not, the second he heard our voices, I don't know. But
a permanent Stranger Things attraction. There are so many cool things that they own.
That would only happen in the UK. It's too dark to be permanent in the US. You're right about that. It would not last. Although that's changing because honestly, our haunts and Halloween is just becoming bigger and bigger and bigger out here. So I don't know, maybe.
Previously, you've told us that your least favorite experience at a theme park was at Six Flags. What is your least favorite coaster? What coaster do you absolutely hate?
Infusion at Blackpool, Vekoma SLC.
That's what I was about to predict.
Next.
So, if you had the chance to make anyone ride that ride for all of eternity, just evil, maniacal laughter while they're strapped to that ride, who would it be?
Oh, goodness. Alive or dead?
Oh, gosh. You know what? I'm curious. Let's hear both.
Let's hear both. The whole Weekend of Bernie's sounds interesting.
I don't know, probably Trump. because it might knock some fucking sense into him.
I don't know if he'd fit.
Probably not.
Just time to the track.
What?
That'd work too.
Dead, I don't know, probably Hitler. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's my answer. So it's not very interesting.
Well, have you been to the Swingers Club, also named Infusion in Pleasure Beach?
No, I haven't, but it sounds more appealing than that ride. Infusion has a certain charm to it. It's beautifully set with the water and the fountains that go up. It's just a fucking headache. But I've heard it's one of the better ones. There were some really ghastly ones like El Condor. I haven't yet ridden it yet, but I feel that Furious Baco at Portaventura might be one of the roughest coasters in the world as well.
Which was a big deal. It was the biggest. It was the first one to do the wing style experience when it was built. But my God, it never got a good review. Not once.
No. So basically, you're saying it's the one at Magic Mountain.
Yes, I went to Magic Mountain and didn't go on it because I actually had sciatica on my trip to California. So
I'm sorry.
I had to be quite selective as to what rides I went on.
Right.
But I want to twist that question around a bit and talk about the coaster I would ride over and over and over and over again.
Cool.
Just to make you Americans can be completely butthurt, and that is going to be Big Thunder Mountain at Disneyland Paris.
It's better. It's hands down better.
I've never heard a bad thing about it.
It's not better, it's the best.
Wow.
It is the best Big Thunder in the world.
It's actually a roller coaster. If you watch a POV, it's actually a roller coaster instead of just a lift hill.
Not 3 lift hills. 3 lift hills, Slater. 3.
Have you ridden the one that's like Grizzly Gulch or something in Tokyo Disneyland?
No, in Hong Kong.
And sorry.
No, I haven't. But if Everest and Big Thunder had a baby, that's what that thing would look like.
That's hot. Is there a porn of that? Everest and the other one doing it?
It's called Twin Peaks. No, I don't know.
Okay, now that is an IP for a theme park. Twin Peaks.
I hope they have a restaurant there.
I hope it makes no fucking sense. What would be your ideal IP for a ride?
Any ride, any configuration, any park?
Any IP for, let's just say, dark ride.
Actually, the IP I want for a dark ride, and I've thought of this for a really long time, and I really want it, is Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I don't know it, but I'm sure it's fab.
I'm actually surprised. I feel like that is a show that European sensibilities would really, really like, actually. It's excellent.
I would want like a Doctor Who ride.
Yep.
Doctor Who dark ride. I would love to see, come in, look at the angels, and just. I'm a Whovian, and so I think that would be really cool.
Okay, actually, those angels at a Universal house would be fucking terrifying as shit.
Right? Holy shit! Yes.
Fuck, that needs to happen.
Yes. I'm saying
Doctor Who is the only good episode of Doctor Who. That's right, I said it. Doctor Who sucks. I fucking hate it.
In my mind, there were 2 good episodes of Doctor Who, and that's one of them. And the other one is because I'm a massive murder mystery fan. There's one, there's an Agatha Christie style episode, which I thought was very, very clever. I believe, though I can't say if it's true or not, Alton Towers once looked at doing a Doctor Who angel, what are they called, Stone Angel dark ride, so that might have happened one day.
That'd be so cool.
That would have been so... I'll agree, because that would have been cool. That would have been really awesome.
I guess a while ago, now the time for this is definitely past, but I think a while ago, having a true dedicated Star Trek area in a park or attraction in a park would have been great. But the Paramount parks in the U.S. went away. The London park, the Paramount branding was lost.
But don't they have that already?
We do have Movie Park Germany, though, with their Star Trek.
Yeah, they have Enterprise.
Sure. But to have like a Starfleet base for a land in a theme park, I think would be amazing. Have like a Star Tours style ride, another coaster, things like that.
I think the problem with those IPs is you're very limiting. I mean, Doctor Who certainly has fans. Star Trek certainly has fans. But I'm not a fan of either of them. So would I be drawn to a park whose big investment was a Star Trek land and a Doctor Who land?
It depends on how well you do it. Look at Avatar Land.
Yeah, and I wouldn't go to that either.
It was mind-blowingly amazing.
Like in the 90s when they had 3 Star Trek series going on at once in the movies, and Star Trek was at its peak in cultural relevance, maybe then, but the time, like I said, is sadly past to have that large implementation of that property in a theme park, unfortunately. If I had to pick something that I think could happen, it would be to repurpose the Bilge Rat barges at Islands of Adventure to be that little barrel ride in the second Hobbit movie.
Oh God, fuck me. I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. I was done with that movie at that scene. So that was when I was done. So if that gets built, I will burn that place to the fucking ground.
Haven't Universal got Lord of the Rings now? Are these rumours flying around that this weird third, fourth park, whatever you want to think of it, I don't count.
It's going to be Pokemon and Nintendo shit.
Well, I've heard Nintendo, Potter, and Lord of the Rings.
Well, and DreamWorks.
Lord of the Rings is a pipe dream. Lord of the Rings is not relevant enough anymore. The movies are too old. It doesn't have the following. It's just, I don't see them doing it. I do not see them doing it.
They made something for Kong. And the recent Kong that came out wasn't Universal. So.
And the movie was better than the ride. And Ryan, we never, what, you've been sitting here quiet the entire episode. What IP would you put into a park?
The RuPaul Drag Race experience, bitch?
No, I think the RuPaul Drag Race experience might be too small of a fan base.
Really? Because you don't want to give the boys tucking lessons?
No, I mean, I would be all for it, but I don't see it as being practical. But I really like that idea of a Netflix park because it's dynamic. As things come and go, you could shuffle it around. And I think there's something on Netflix, like multiple things for everyone. So I really like that idea. I don't know if it's going to happen.
I would like to see a scare maze involving drag queens. Not because they're scary, but just because they're kind of funny. And I think a RuPaul walkthrough attraction could be quite amusing.
It really could. And I mean, especially if you have drag queens doing the walk of shame.
It's just your Friday night, isn't it, Slater?
Oh, it is all the time. Oh, he took his joke. So I want to mention, you haven't just discovered Ride This One. You've known about us for a little bit, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And is it not true that you were going to come on the show in season 1?
Yes.
Much earlier.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I was, wasn't I?
Yes.
And I
didn't. Royally bitched out like a bitch.
I know, but here I am, and you should be very grateful.
I should be grateful.
Thank you, sir.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and you are kind of like the American Moss Machine. I think you do add a satirical level to this crazy thing that we all love, and yet some people seem to just spend their whole lives fighting about.
I am all for the fighting. I will fight a bitch, but I will do it with a smile. Now, we have one last question, and it's a new question that we asked for you before you go.
8 inches. Carry on.
Okay, time for final thoughts.
You didn't even have to ask, Slater.
God damn.
He knows. He's a loyal listener. He's heard every episode, so you know.
But we all know that girth matters more. So
that's 8 inches wide.
That's what my mommy told me.
Oh, man. I don't even think Slater could take that, and he's pretty well opened up.
Oh, well.
I'm talking about my brain, of course.
Let me tell you, like, when it's time, motherfuckers are just like, open sesame. It's all good to go. No, we have a question that our intern has devised, and it is actually a 5-part question. Intern, take it away.
Yes, this is going to be our second episode with it, and it's about priorities. And it will reveal your priorities to us. So you're going to rank these 5 items 1 to 5. In the 1 spot, you are able to do this item or activity once a day. In the 2 spot, able to do it once a week. In the 3 spot, able to do it once a month. In the 4 spot, once a year. And in the 5 spot, once every 5 years. And if you break this, you die. So this is very serious.
Oh.
So 1 to 5. Your 5 items or activities are roller coasters, music, sex, eating pizza, and booze.
I bet I can guess your number 1 if you want to keep a job.
Yeah.
So what would you put at number 1? You're able to do this every day.
So are we saying I have to do it every day, or I'm
No,
able
you're
to do it
able
every
to.
day?
You don't have to do it, but you're able to do it at least once a day.
Okay. I'm going to put booze last at number
Okay.
5 years, because I'm not a massive drinker. I'm going to put...
I'm sorry, you don't like Doctor Who and you don't like booze. You're barely British.
Oi, hop off, mate.
Yeah, fuck off.
So you have booze once every 5 years. What
Yeah.
are you doing once a day? Besides wanking.
It's so dependent on circumstances, isn't it?
This is giving us a peek into your mind.
Yes. Well, it won't take very long. I'm just going to have to put sex once a day because, that's, it's what we're put on Earth to do, isn't it?
Yeah, horny. Okay. So sex in the one hole. Sex every day. What are you doing once a week?
Now, because I've got older, I'm going to say that roller coasters are getting more difficult as you get older. Have you guys found that?
No, I'm 20.
Right. You will find it.
You will.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm 27 and I've started to notice it a little bit.
The headaches are coming.
It's depressing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just this past week, I did Outlaw Run 12 times in a row.
Wow.
I only have the issues if it's ridiculously hot. And that's it. I think I'm very lucky there.
We're talking about coasters, not sex now, Slater.
Right. So you have sex 1. You have booze at 5. What are you doing at 2?
Music, because I need it to make a living.
Okay.
And pizza I can give or take, so once a year for pizza, was that it?
Okay, and then once a month for coasters?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment, it seems.
So it's like your coaster period.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have sex, able to do it once a day, music once a week, roller coasters once a month, pizza once a year.
Yeah.
So on that day, you're going to be going to Alton Towers and pigging out at the buffet.
Yes.
And then once every 5 years, we'll be imbibing in alcohol. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Thank you for sharing a little peek into your psyche with us. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely, thank you for coming on Ride This One,
Absolutely.
We forgive you for pussing out previously.
It's okay.
The one thing is, do you have any questions for us before we give our final thoughts?
If you were to when you come to the UK, what would you want to get on first? Apart from the ultimate.
Well, I plan to sit on Sean's face, but are we talking rides?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll probably do Nemesis so I can just talk shit on it just to annoy people. Even if I love
Nemesis at Alton Towers or Nemesis Inferno at Thorpe Park?
You know what? Just fuck with people. Let's say Nemesis Inferno.
Oh.
No, I really can't wait to go ride Saw. That's what I can't wait for.
That was mine.
Goliath, what about you? What are you gonna go ride first?
Well, he said the UK originally, so I was thinking going over to Tato Park and riding Colossus, but
Cthulhu or not Cthulhu?
That's going to be Alton Towers' next ride because it's
probably.
Sounds like fun. Oblivion.
Yeah. So it's interesting how you're still going back to the early 90s.
I'm going to go back. I'm going to go with the Oblivion.
But that's the worst dive coaster ever.
I think you mean first dive coaster.
But if I can fit on it, I'll be happy. I haven't ridden one yet, so.
It's not even a vertical drop. It's 88.5 degrees.
Nerd.
That rounds up.
Nerd.
Yeah, okay.
Nerd.
I think for me, I'd be really interested in going to Blackpool and experiencing all of those very old rides, except for their Wooden Wild Mouse, which just died and disappeared.
Which, fuck them for that. Fuck them for that.
But they have so many old, amazing rides.
That was a horrible ride.
But just to experience it, get that credit.
Listen, don't you know, in America we keep all kinds of shitty rides around for no reason, just because they're historical. You can thank American coaster enthusiasts for that bullshit.
They have their own landmark system. It's great.
Do you have an equivalent to ACE in Great Britain?
Yes, we have the Roller Coaster Club of Great Britain.
Oh, look at
that. Are they as inbred and annoying as they are here?
I've never met any of them, I don't think. I'm sure they're all lovely people. They're probably very, I would guess, like Ace, they're very particular, and that's all I'll say. Another cool fact about Blackpool is it has the world's first ghost train that's been operating since about 1931 or something hilarious.
Is that the one that... that's not the one that inspired John Wardley?
It might have been. I'm not sure. I can't answer that question.
Okay. We're going to have to get John on. Does someone have a Skype?
I'm sure he would
I'll ring him now.
Absolutely love being on our show. That would go well. And can you get us the Queen while you're at it?
That's you, Nathan.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
One is not allowed.
Yeah, okay.
God.
One likes Ride This One podcast. That's what I say to Philip.
It's like she's really here. It's the most dead-on impersonation I've ever heard.
My grandson's marrying this American bitch next week, and I really don't know what to do.
It's going to be a great wedding, though.
Yeah.
Are you going to be there?
Next Sunday, I'm going to a horror attraction called Hollow Hotel, which is based on the hotel that American serial killer killed. That's my way of celebrating the American fucking wedding.
The pollution of the royal bloodline.
Which I could have sworn was American Pie 3, wasn't it?
But it's been lovely, but we do truly have to get the fuck out of here. But before we do...
We absolutely do.
We have to do our final thoughts, and since Gare Bear's not here, this should not take so long. So... to be polite, we will start with our guest. Nick, what is your final thought?
I'm seeing a lot of drama in this industry as of late from the fans, and we all love the same stuff. Just fucking get on with each other. You know, we sit on cars and go fast. I don't see why we have to argue about it. Just act like grown-ups. That's my final thought. Which is ironic being on this show.
So the question is, hands up or hands down?
One hand up, one hand down.
Okay, you're agnostic. I can appreciate that.
Ryan, tell us, what is your final thoughts?
My two final thoughts are Costco brand vodka is really bad. And definitely hands up. I'll keep it short for you guys. Chris, what are your final thoughts?
Well, I'm thinking that I have to say thank you to Mr. Hudson for coming and talking to us. I really appreciate the work that you do with your compositions around the world. I have gone to your website, which is nickhudsonmusic.com.
Correct, yes. Thank you.
Yes, I've listened to things. It's nice. Like, it gives me an idea of these attractions, which I haven't been to yet. But
I cannot wait to illegally use all of his music on our podcast.
I haven't been to these attractions yet, but being able to get the aural, however you pronounce that, aspect of it, not oral, but aural aspect of the attractions, it does give me a sort of an idea of what they're like, and I really do appreciate that. I like the work that you do on the Season Pass podcast. I really like your ERT when you talk about your travels, things that are happening in Europe, and when you go to visit the states of the colonies. It's very nice. And
wow.
I love that you're so polite and then it gets like offensive and kind of racist. I love that.
It's amazing. It really is
Well, that's
amazing.
very nice because I haven't been to many of the attractions I've done music for anyway either. So it's nice that we share that in common.
And I'll close my final thoughts by saying that through crazy random happenstance, I will be able to pretty soon give you my personal review of Steel Vengeance. Mr. Goliath.
Yes.
Tried and true original. What are your final throbs?
Well, my final throb is actually, I was kind of shocked. You know, of all the rides to ride in England, why aren't you going to ride the big one?
Because it sucks.
I know. You're all about riding big things. You're going to go ride the big one.
Because we've got bigger in the U.S., honey.
You have Magnum XL 3 million, whatever it's called, which is the same fucking ride.
Its very name is the name of a condom.
I know that condom well.
I just had to ask, Slater. Slater, you know, what's your final thought?
Well, my final thought is almost more of a question, and that is, Nicholas, when you're washing your giant cock, does it take longer since it's uncut and you have to pull everything back?
I'm still in the shower from this morning.
Oh, goddamn. It's so much maintenance. Just so much maintenance.
So, guys, it's time for our mail call segment of this episode of Ride This One podcast, and by now, most of you has probably heard our mail call prompt from last week talking about your RMC experiences. Unfortunately, that episode has not yet gone live, so we can't give you, we can't showcase your responses by calling the show just yet on this episode, but we have another prompt for you as well, that we want you to call in to the show and leave a voicemail and tell us about your answer to this prompt. If you could pick only one UK park to visit on a trip, one UK park on your trip to the United Kingdom, which would it be and why? Would it be Thorpe for the roller coasters, Alton Towers for the prestige, Blackpool Pleasure Beach for the pleasure of it, or Chessington for nothing? We really would like you to call in the show and tell us your thoughts at 267-433-8447. I await your responses with bated breath.
Well, everyone, it's been lovely. We're so glad you're here. But before we fully sign off, you all need to know how you can get a hold of us.
Of course. Please, get a hold of us. Nick, how can people reach you,
I'm on Twitter at Nick Hudson Music and nickhudsonmusic.com. I'm on Instagram, Nick Hudson. And yeah, that's it. Season Pass podcast, Nick Hudson's ERT, Musical Talk, my musical theatre podcast. I'm generally everywhere, all at once. Because I'm an ignorant Brit and don't know anything, how do I get hold of you lot? Apart from by the testicles.
You can find me at Ryan Delaney, RyanDelaney. And Chris, how can we get a hold of you?
You can grasp me or get a hold of me at RTO Intern Chris. Mr. Goliath, how can people get a hold of you and Gare Bear? Because he can't speak for himself today.
Well, Gare Bear, he's at the Furry Con, so, but if you're not finding him there, he's at RTO Gare Bear. You can also find me at RTO Goliath. And if you want to watch me live, hit me up on Live Me. It's Coaster Freak. Slater, what about you? I know we've been waiting for so long to get a hold of you. How do the listeners do it?
Well, bitches, the way you get a hold of me on Twitter is at RTO Slater. And of course, don't forget our resident ghost, RTO Kincaid. That's Kinkade. The paid her a lot, bitches. Of course, we have a show Twitter at Ride This One.
We also have the Facebook. It's facebook.com/ridethisone.
And don't forget, we also have a listener survey out there on the internet, which is pinned to the top of our Twitter page at Ride This One, where you can answer a few quick questions and tell us what you think of the show and how we can improve. We are eagerly awaiting your response for that as well.
If you guys want to help the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, we're also going to be posting a link to the Coaster-thon where you can make a donation and help me help the ride.
And of course, don't forget you can reach us at our phone number at 26RIDE-THIS, which is 267-433-8447. Call or text, motherfuckers.
And we'd also really appreciate if you leave a review on iTunes, so that can help other depraved fucks also discover the show, because that really does help.
And I'm still doing it, so everyone who will leave a 5-star review on iTunes, just screenshot that and send that to our email, ridethisonepodcast@gmail.com with your address, and I will send you a prize from deep inside my asshole. No, really, I will send you a prize from our prize closet.
We'll read it on the air, give you a hearty shout-out, and an over-the-pants hand job.
That's correct.
This is so like Coaster Radio in an alternate universe.
It is.
Can I just give a massive shout out to Mike from Coaster Radio, because without him, none of us would be here. I think that's fair to say.
Absolutely.
100% it's so true. And I'm glad you mentioned that, right here at the end of the show, because I'm going to go ahead and announce, guess who our next guest is on the next episode?
Is it Mike fucking Collins from Coaster Radio?
No, it's even better. It's the woman who... No, it's the woman who fucks Mike Collins. It is his girlfriend, Izzy. Izzy is coming on to Ride This One to discuss in great length the length of his member. So it is going to be a great show.
Is she the first female to be on Ride This One?
No, Aunt Sue was on. But believe it or not, to a shock of everyone, right now I have 3 women 3 fucking women scheduled to come on Ride This One. We are all about gender equality. It's just there's not a lot of women who like roller coasters.
And Slater outwomens them all.
Oh, it's so
Daily.
true, bitch. You
Of
have
course he
no
does.
idea how true. But it's been lovely.
It really has. Thank you. Thank you for coming on.
But you know what? Cheerio, motherfuckers!
My faggots are burning.
Downton Abbey.
Fuck off, you slag.
G'day, mate.
Ride This One Podcast. If you want family friendly, go listen to Coaster Fucking Radio.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Okay, this podcast parodied Steel Vengeance in a popular... Sorry, let me do that again. Okay, this popular... Shit, sorry.